How's it going, everybody? Back again, episode eight, right, fellas? Eight, I think it's eight. Yeah. Okay. Standing Eight podcast, Standing Eight Count podcast. True made a good point. Hey, you guys, make sure you hit the like button. Okay. Yes, even if you dislike it, hit it. There's algorithms. Okay, so it helps us either way. Okay, so make sure you hit that like button. Other than that, True, go ahead and do your intro.
True Boxing on YouTube, TRU Boxing, and then TRU_boxing on Instagram.
All right, Vaughn.
All right, Von Blues Boxing, so VON, capital BLEU, apostrophe S, boxing on YouTube. So Von Blues Boxing on YouTube, you can get at me on there.
All right, perfect. And I'm Ray Riz, the moderator of this channel. We got two knowledgeable guys, if you guys haven't caught on yet. So we're still doing awards. We got a lot of awards going on. Our first segment is actually going to be the best performance in defeat. And we're starting off with Vaughn, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ray, real quick, can I stop you?
Go ahead.
As Vaughn said before, moderator of the year, so don't sell yourself short.
Quit it.
Throw that to Ray.
All right, so Vaughn, give us your criteria of what it means.
My best performance in defeat is I always look at how well you fought in the best performance in the defeat. You know what I'm saying? That's the big thing to me, how well you fought. Sometimes I look at the significance of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I also look at how the fight went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Were you up in the fight? Were you dominating the fight? And then next thing you know, you lost, or was it a close fight? You know. So stuff like that. You know, you can be stopped, in my opinion, and still have a good performance. In
True.
You know
Is there for a little teaser? Is there any I guess you could say controversy involved in any of these picks, or is it just pretty much a straight defeat? But you like the way they did it?
Some were straight for defeat. I only had one that was controversial.
Okay.
I like straight defeats. It was just straight defeats with these ones.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, no controversy, Ray. Because I think controversial. We kind of covered that in those ones. So when we did the controversial, so it may be a little, but yeah, I tend to go, hey, you straight up lost, but you fought your ass off.
Okay. All right. Well, good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna get it started. So my top 5 best performances in defeat. I'm gonna start with number 5, Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is he fought only one fight at 130. He was coming up from 126, and he took on Tank Davis, who we all know is, he's a monster at 130 pounds. Tank is explosive, dangerous, world champion there. He's proved himself at 130, so I just, Leo Santa Cruz fought a hell of a fight, from that. As soon as the beginning of the, first round, he came out there just fighting. He didn't back, he didn't go in there to just box and try to, win rounds. He came out there to fight. And he went out there and he gave it his all. You know what I'm saying? Some of the judges had him up in a fight, maybe a round, you know what I'm saying, against Tank Davis, or it was close, or it was a tie, and before that stoppage came, Leo was in there, he was making a good account of himself, and so I wanted to give Leo Santa Cruz some love. Yeah, he got stopped, badly, but he came in there and he came to fight. He, he took on a tough challenge at 130, and he proved himself, to be, the guy that he is, and so definitely. And then at number 4, I got Luis Correa. He fought Adam Lopez, and Luis Correa, to me, I think won that fight, but he fought his tail off. Now, Adam Lopez is not a guy that's super low, and he's a guy that's been at, I believe, he's fought between 126 and 130. He's taken some tough losses, but he's had some decent wins too. So I just felt like Luis Correa fought a really good fight. That's my controversial one. And then at number 3, I got Dillian White. So Dillian White was winning the fight at that time. I mean, that he was on his way to, basically getting possibly a title shot, after whatever happens between Fury and Joshua or whatever, whatever goes that way, he was close to it. And he was winning the fight, and he looked like he was going to stop Dillian, Alexander Povetkin in the next round. But then out of nowhere, Povetkin uppercut from hell stopped him. And I wanted to give Dillian White number 3 and best performance in defeat. And then number 2, I got Felix Verdejo. Now, the reason why I picked Felix Verdejo number 2 best performance in defeat is because he was coming back on a comeback trail. Felix Verdejo, really good talent prospect out of Puerto Rico, had some issues, had a loss, had a motorcycle accident. Took him some time to get back, but he was looking really, really good. And this would have been a nice big win for him to beat Nakatani. Was winning the fight against Nakatani, knocked him down twice, looked explosive. I mean, looked at like the Felix Verdejo, that one prospect of the year. But then, he just kind of ran out of gas, and Nakatani being the veteran that he is and having the skill set that he is, he pulled that off. So, yeah, and, Felix Verdejo fought really, really well, and, I mean, he took it on the chin, and, he's looking to bounce back, so I gave him number 2. And then number 1, my best performance in defeat is Ivan Baranchyk. I just felt like Baranchyk and Jose Cepeda, that was a hell of a fight. I mean, it went back and forth, multiple knockdowns, just... You know what I'm saying? He was there to fight and just give everything, and I mean, Baranchyk, it was crazy to see him, to say a fight that way, because Baranchyk boxes a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not boxing more, so it was just shocking, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a great performance. Even though he got stopped the way he did, I just felt like that he gave it his all, and he gave the fight fan, and that type of fights that boxing fans always remember, you know what I'm saying? It was almost had that Gaddy Ward kind of feel.
Right.
So, yeah, Ivan Baranchyk was number 1 in this year for my best performance in defeat.
Nice. Okay, True. So what about yours?
Want to show some love for one that he mentioned that didn't make my list, and that was the Santa Cruz Davis fight. I agree, man. Santa Cruz went out there and fought with, I was surprised. Ray, me and you were watching that at your house.
Right.
When the way Santa Cruz is able to push Davis back a couple times, I think Davis it almost brought the best out of Davis right there to keep pressing forward. Yeah, and that was good, and I think that's exactly what Davis needed. And Santa Cruz, that's just the kind of guy he is. He doesn't care how hard you hit. He's going to keep coming. And, Santa Cruz never been knocked out. He's never been, he's barely been beat. So, so it was kind of like, it was just impressive, a good hard fought performance. And I remember checking the scores right before the knockout round. After 5, I was like, man, this has got to be close. And it was 3-2 on all 3 judges' scorecards for Davis. So it was a close, tough fight right there. And that definitely was one of them. But yeah, jumping into my top 5. I got a couple I want to mention, kind of a 3-way tie for 5th. The Verdejo fight with Nakatani. Yeah, I mean, he was putting it on Nakatani early in the first half of the fight. I mean, he was just dominating, but he was moving a lot, and Nakatani kept pressing. And but Verdejo, man, he almost had it. And he was way up when he got knocked out too. So that it was sad. He was way up on the scorecards, but a good performance. Another one tying for 5th is Daniel Roman's split decision loss to Mirajan Akhmadayev when he lost the unified belts. That was a good close fight right there. Back and forth action, but Akhmadayev just a little bit better. And Roman, I mean, no shame in losing when you lose to a good fighter, but it was kind of an upset on that one. But yeah, just he, to go down on split decision. I mean, that's the way. I think everybody would rather go out that way than getting laid out like Santa Cruz did. So Roman, good performance. And then the last one to tie for 5th is Tevin Farmer for his unanimous decision loss to Joseph Diaz Jr. Farmer came in a slight favorite in that one. I picked Diaz to win a close decision. That's exactly what happened. It was a good close fight, and Farmer was in it the whole way, but Diaz was just a little bit better. But it was a really good, hard-fought battle at 130 between the 2 southpaws. So, I gave Farmer some love. 4th is one that Vaughn had on his list. It was Dillian White's 6th-round knockout loss to Povetkin. I mean, White had him. He was putting it on him, and he had him. I think one observation I haven't mentioned before about this fight is that I felt like me and Vaughn both, and a lot of people didn't think that White should have been such a big favorite over Povetkin because Povetkin's dangerous. But the first 4 rounds, White fought. People were favoring him to win, he fought that way. He was dominating Povetkin. Mm-hmm. And then, man, Povetkin just the way he slipped to the left and landed that uppercut and laid out Dillian White. I mean, it was one of those punches you can't do nothing about, Ray. He just got caught. He was winning. He was putting it on Povetkin. And, he looked like he had him on his last legs to knock him out, and he just got caught cold. So it was a good performance, though. Okay. And then let me see. Number 3 was Jesse Vargas's 12-round unanimous decision loss to Mikey Garcia. This was a good fight. He was actually winning the first 3 to 4 rounds. Vargas was up, and then he got caught and hurt and put down hard by Mikey Garcia in that fight. Mikey kind of took over the fight towards the middle rounds, but Jesse Vargas got a second win in the championship rounds, and it really put it on Mikey and made it close. And he lost a decision. And you know what? That was a tough one for him anyways, because he came down from 154 to fight Mikey at 147. So coming down in weight is tough, man. To cut weight, even if you've made that weight before, to come down to do it is really tough. And Vargas to come in and fight a close, hard-fought battle against Mikey Garcia is a 4-division world champion. That dude's a stud, you know? So that was a tough one. Number 2 is Victor Postal's 12-round majority decision loss to Jose Ramirez. That was at 140. It was for the unified title. Postal came in, nobody was giving him a lot of love. He's 35, 36. A lot of people thought Ramirez was going to run him over. Ramirez is the guy from Fresno. And they were looking forward to, a lot of people looking forward to the Ramirez-Josh Taylor undisputed title fight. And Postal was like, well, hey, man, I'm a former champ. I've been there, and he fought his ass off. And it was a close, tough battle right there, man. It really could have went either way. And Ramirez got out of there with a close 12-round majority decision. But at 36 for Postal to perform that way against one of the top guys in the division, he really showed he's still got a lot left in the tank, man, even at 36. So that was number 2. But number 1, me and Vaughn totally agree. It's Ivan Berianchek's 5th-round knockout loss to Jose Cepeda. I mean, what a war right here, Ray. I mean, 8 knockdowns, bro. 8 knockdowns in 5 rounds, and it was literally 4-4, know? And these guys, I mean, like I said, if nobody saw this one, they need to go back and watch it because it was a great fight. Berianchek was just, I mean, he's the bully. He's kind of the brawler. And Cepeda was a little bit more of the boxer. And for this fight to end up being, like Vaughn said, like a Gotti Ward type fight, nobody saw that coming. People knew it was going to be good. Crossroads fight, contenders right here. So it was a good fight. Everybody knew the matchup would be decent, but man, it just totally outperformed. And Berianchek got caught cold. Doing what he does, coming straight forward, trying to knock you out, and no shame in losing this way because he just got caught cold. But it was a great, great performance and fight. He scored 4 knockdowns himself, and yeah, that one I agree with Vaughn. That one's the number 1 for best performance in defeat this year. Or last year, yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you guys didn't, unless I missed it. I'm surprised you guys didn't list the Garcia fight that just happened. Unless that was this year. Is that considered this year? Young guy, Ryan.
Talking about Danny Garcia?
No, I'm not sorry. Garcia, Ryan, the young kid. The kid just fought 2 weeks ago.
This year.
It was this year. Okay.
You're talking about Campbell, yeah. Because
I mean, even though we're kind of getting into early, do you think his performance in defeat was pretty good?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I had that fight. I don't know what you had it on, but I had it 4 rounds to 2. With Campbell getting the extra point for the knockdown. So it was 1 point in favor of Ryan Garcia on my card. And they're getting into the late rounds after, heading to 7, 8, 9. And Ryan looked like he started to breathe hard. Right. He's not used to, at his age, he's not used to going deep. So that could have ended up being very interesting down the stretch if Ryan doesn't land that liver shot, man. So.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right, so that was a good top 5, man. On Best of Peach. If you guys haven't watched those fights, make sure you watch the number 1 one. That for both guys. Those definitely, from what I've heard from these guys, very good fight. Very good fight. So now we're gonna do the knockout of the year, and True's gonna start off. And True, give us your criteria on the knockout. And what's different about these knockouts than your ordinary I'm not gonna say ordinary, but your basic knockouts. Just give us your criteria on what you need to do to make that knockout of the year.
Well, for me, knockout of the year, I mean, it's, a lot, it probably sounds pretty basic, but, I've seen the knockouts of the year, like in Ring Magazine and stuff over the years, and they don't put the level of the fight really doesn't matter, it's really more just the knockout itself. And for me, for all my categories, I mean, I think the higher level the fight, the more pressure it is on the fighters to perform, and so I think I give more love to those guys. If it's a bigger fight, plus our podcast is all about the casual fan, right? That's what we're going for. Right. And I think if they know more of the bigger fights and the knockouts that matter, or performances, or whatever the category is, then they're going to pay attention more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get the casual fans more interested. So I'm trying to lean with mine. I'm trying to lean towards, yes, the knockout itself, of course, matters. So, I mean, a one-punch knockout, laying a guy out, and we had a lot of those, is definitely bigger than, just hurting a guy or something like that. But you also got to mix in the level of the fight and how big the fight was. So I definitely factor that in. So,
okay.
1 second. Yeah. So we'll start with my top 5. Let me see. So number 5, I'm going with Joe Smith Jr.'s 9th round TKO of Eliter Alvarez.
Ooh, he put him to sleep. My bad.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. Like I said, on this subject, bro, don't even mind jumping in on this one, because these knockouts were all good, bro. All good. So yeah. But yeah, no, Joe Smith, I mean, he bullied Alvarez around in this fight. He came in the underdog, and he just bullied him around for 8-9 rounds. And you could tell a knockout was coming, maybe a one-sided decision. But man, when he landed that punch, and Alvarez, he knocked him through the ropes, Ray. It was just a bad knockout. But it was a huge win for Joe Smith. That's leading to a world title shot coming up in February, and just a great one-punch knockout, man. I mean, and it was just impressive. And the fact that he was the underdog, that was just a huge win right there. So that's number 5. Number 4 was Anthony Joshua's 9th round knockout of Kubrat Pulev. For the heavyweight title, the unified title. They fought in December. Joshua was setting it up. He was looking good. But he did what he used to do, and which is a highlight reel type knockout, and he did that by setting up with, man, I don't think I've ever seen a heavyweight throw more uppercuts than he threw in this fight, man. He was throwing that right hand uppercut. And in the 9th round, he laid him out. Pulev got up, but he was done. And so Joshua did the classic 1-2, the feint jab to the straight right hand, and laid out Pulev flat on his back. So to keep his title and to set up a huge fight with Fury, hopefully coming up soon. Number 3 was our number 1 fight at Best Performance in Defeat, Jose Cepeda's 8th round knockout of Ivan Beriancic. That one, I mean, again, the 8 knockdowns, we talked about that, but he caught Beriancic cold coming in, straight left hand down the middle. And if you didn't see it yet, Ray, the way his leg bent back on that one, Beriancic, when he fell back, I mean, it was just a great knockout right there by Cepeda. And it was a big fight. It was a final eliminator and a contenders bout. So that was a big win right there for Cepeda. Number 2, and these ones are tough, bro. I really split hairs on these ones, especially when my website, boxingscene.com, picked this one for knockout of the year. But number 2 for me, Alexander Povetkin's 5th round knockout of Dillian White. We've talked about this throughout all the awards, and it was just a fucking great knockout, man. He landed just a picture perfect left uppercut for a right-handed fighter too. That's one of the most impressive things to me about this knockout is Povetkin's a right-handed fighter. Yes, he has power in both hands, and he has one-punch knockout power throughout his career. But most of the time, Ray, it was done with his right hand. And for him to slip to the left and land this uppercut and then knock Dillian White out cold, and then the way he knocked him out in terms of the fact that he was losing and looked like he was about to get knocked out. It was just had all the makings of it. At 41 years old to pull that off too was just impressive. So that's number 2, but it was splitting hairs because number 1, I think I gave it to this fight because it was a bigger fight on a bigger scale, and it had 2 world titles on the line. But that's Javonte Davis's 6th round knockout over Leo Santa Cruz, man. Ray, again, me and you were watching this. What a brutal knockout, man. I mean, and I think the most impressive thing, and I think one of the things where I favored it over the Povetkin knockout was Dillian White's been knocked out before and he's been hurt before. So I don't think a lot of people were surprised by that. Even though Davis was the bigger man over Santa Cruz, dude, I don't think I figured Davis could win by knockout, but more accumulation punching and wearing him down type knockout, Right. I didn't see him laying out a guy who I've never seen even be hurt like this, bro. I mean, and this just shows you the kind of power that Davis has and why, the lightweight and junior lightweights are just exciting with Javonte Davis in it. And that's him fully focused, fully trained. I mean, he came to fight, and what a fucking knockout, man. I mean, the way he laid Santa Cruz out was just it was beautiful, man. If I'm just use one word, beautiful is it, man. That was and beautiful and brutal, bro. So that's number one right there. Knockout of the year, Tank Davis over Santa Cruz.
Okay. All right, Vaughn, what do you think about that, man? What you got going?
So yeah, I'm gonna start with number 5. I thought he had a really good list. I'm gonna start with number 5. So Joseph George versus Marcus Escodaro. I believe it was a 9th round stoppage. Joseph George and Marcus Escodaro, they both fight in the welterweight division. So Escodaro ain't the most known. Him and Joseph are not the most known fighters. Joseph George is, he's one of those dudes. He's a guy who has potential. It's to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Escodaro, another dude who's, one of those guys that was, has potential to be seen. But they fought before in 2019, but it was close. A lot of people thought Marcus Escodaro won the fight, but they've rematched it. So Joseph George and Escodaro rematched it earlier in this year. And man, Escodaro was winning the fight. He was winning the fight again, man. And out of nowhere, overhand right hand, man, he hits Escodaro and just laid Escodaro out.
I'm watching it right now, bro.
Yeah, laid him out. I was just like, and he was losing, guys. He was losing, and I was just, oh man, it was a brutal knockout. So yeah, I had to put that on there because I was just like, Escodaro. I know Escodaro was like, God damn, God, the boxing gods don't love me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ray, go back and watch that one, man. The dude tries to get up, and he looks like
he's defeated,
when you're drunk and you're trying to raise up off the couch, bro.
Yep. Yeah, it was really bad, Doc. I was just like, man, I didn't even celebrate that dick out or nothing. Like, I was just like, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, just praying Escodaro was all right. That was one of them type of knockouts. And then at number 4, I had Isaac Cruz versus Diego Maldonado. Now, they fought on the Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz fight. Y'all probably seen that first round knockout by Isaac Cruz.
That was a good knockout, yeah.
I mean, Isaac Cruz just went forward and went after Diego Maldonado. I was like, I'm like, Cruz, you just not going to even stay out of his chest, not even for me. Nope. I mean, the way he stopped Diego Maldonado, I was just like, oh my God, that uppercut was from hell. This uppercut season this year. Isaac Cruz, uppercut knockout. So that was number 4 on my list. That was a first round knockout. So then number 3, what's his name? True Boxing. Cepeda versus Berchelt. I mean, like True said everything that needed to be said by that fight. You know what I'm saying? It was a brutal knockout. I mean, that was a bad knockout of Ivan Berchelt. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of knockout you need to take some time off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For real, Berchelt need to take some time, like at least a year. Go get the brain scans, the neurological, stuff. Go, before you get back in the ring. And so, yeah, that was number 3. Then number 2, like True had, I had Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin. Just Povetkin, left hook from uppercut from hell. I mean, but he set it up. He had been working on it the whole fight, and he landed it, and that was big for him because Povetkin won a diamond title, and if he fights, he's going to fight again. I think March 6th, he's going to fight Dillian White again. So so that's going to be a big one. And then number 1, I'm with True again, Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, man, what a knockout. Slips his head off the center of the line. He just, boom, Tank's signature. Kind of looked like Mike Tyson when he do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not comparing him to Mike Tyson, but I know that's something that maybe Tank watched, and Mike loves Tank too. That's his boy. So, that was brutal knockout. So, yeah, that's my knockouts of the year.
Wow. That's good picks, man. Good picks. Well, I think we should kind of segue into the question I have for you guys, and it's kind of similar to it, but with the knockout power that some of these guys have, is 2 questions actually. Is that an attribute that we talked about, guys that are dodged in their career, guys that are avoided in their career? True, let's start with you. Can you give me a guy that was avoided a lot in his career because of that power, and it just was a bad role for him in his career?
Well, I got one that's still fighting right now, Luis Ortiz, man, in the heavyweight division. The dude's got just scary kind of power, and he's still considered the boogeyman even at 41 years old. I mean, the only guy that had the balls to fight him was Deontay Wilder, and Wilder, even had to be cautious before he knocked him out both times. And both those fights, Ortiz, you could argue, was winning both those fights at the time of the knockout because he's a combination of a boxer and a brutal puncher. So that's one that really comes to mind right now. And he's widely avoided, Ray. Like, nobody wants to fight him even now. And it sucks because he's very entertaining, bro. He is, and he always has been. But bro, he won his first. Yeah, he won his first big fight like in 15, and that's still his biggest signature win of his career, knocking out Bryant Jennings, because nobody wants to get in the ring with him.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's interesting to know. What about you, Vaughn? Can you think of somebody off the top of your head?
Randall Bailey. You remember Randall Bailey?
Yeah.
Randall Bailey was one of those dudes that he was avoided because of his power, because he sparked some some prospect or upping, like high level prospect or title contenders.
Mike Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mike Jones. Oh, he did Mike Jones.
Bad,
man.
Yeah. Well, and what was his nickname? Wasn't it the KO? Something like
something.
His nickname was KO, Ray. That showed you right
there. Wow. So
because of his power. Randall Bailey, he was explosive, man. Randall took his losses, but boy, if he caught you, man, I would never want to be behind him.
Wow.
By that man ever.
Okay. That's good. So what do you fellas want to do? You guys want to knock up this top 10 130, or you guys want to hit up the fights coming up? What do you guys want to do?
I think we can do the top 10, man. It looks like we're right on point.
All right, perfect.
I'll be quick too.
Okay, so we're doing the super featherweights, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This one's super bantamweight today.
Super
bantamweight today?
Super bantamweight. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
All right, I can do it quick.
Yeah. Start it up, Vaughn.
I didn't write it down, but all right, so 122. We're going to do that one. Okay, hold on, fellas. Give me a minute.
Now, take your time.
Yeah, because I got to because I didn't even write it down for 122 because I thought it was for tomorrow. But
well, we can do 130 if you want. So,
I mean, it's
up to you.
Yeah, true. Let's do 130 today because 122, you know, we do that tomorrow.
So, who wants to start it off?
All right.
True, you go for 130. You start that one off today.
All right, cool. All right, so, yeah, this is super featherweight 130. So I'm going to start off with a couple guys I had drop out. Former title contender Mickey Roman. He was number 6. He got knocked out in November. Hasn't really done anything since his war with Miguel Berchelt a couple years ago. So he dropped out. He's 35 now. Also dropping out was undefeated Shavkat Rakhimov. He was number 10 originally. He's 26. He's undefeated. And his next fight, it just got postponed, but he's got opportunity to break back in and honestly to come into the top 5 because he's a tough Russian fighter right here. And he's getting his opportunity against Joseph Diaz Jr. He just tested positive for Corona, though. So that fight got pushed back. Probably a couple months. He'll probably fight in March, April area against Joseph Diaz. But he's going to have his opportunity. And you know what? That guy's a comer, man. So we're going to see what happens when he gets in the ring. But, you know, he'll definitely have a chance to get back in. I got a 2-way tie for 10th. And first up is former champ Andrew Cancio. He drops a couple spots from number 8. He's 32. He didn't fight at all in 2020. He signed a deal with Top Rank. But he had his opponents. I think one tested positive for Corona. I think one guy got hurt. One guy couldn't get a visa. He had like 3 fights postponed or canceled, and then now he goes and gets hurt or tests positive for Corona because he was supposed to fight on February 20th, and now he's out of that fight. So who knows when this guy's coming back now? But hopefully he can provide a good opponent for somebody because Andrew Cancio is okay. He's all right, but he's a tough guy, and he's one of those guys that you kind of build yourself on, like one of those gatekeeper guys. But he's good though. He's a former champ. Also tied for 10th is undefeated former featherweight champ Shakur Stevenson, the future of boxing. He's 23 still. He moved up from featherweight, gave up the belt there to move up to 130, and he got a couple wins this year. Nobody notable, but he is in line to fight the winner of Jemele Herring and Carl Frampton for the WBO title. That would be his signature win of his career so far. And I don't think there's anybody that beat Shakur Stevenson at 130, and I'm calling it right now. that includes Javonte Davis. I think Shakur Stevenson is very, very good and is going to be one of the guys to carry the torch of boxing into the future. Okay. Again, only 23, man. I like him a lot. Let me see. Number 9 is former champ Tevin Farmer. He fought once. He lost to Joseph Diaz by a decision. Close fight. He had a mandatory rematch, but the fight never came. Coronavirus pushed it back, and then Diaz was trying to get out of the mandatory rematch and fight somebody else. Then it looked like it was going to happen, but then the governing body for the title said, well, we want you to fight your number 1 contender first. So I don't know if Farmer is going to get that rematch with Diaz. I hope he does, because he gave Diaz the fight to begin with, and they had a mandatory rematch clause in the contract. So I'm hoping after Diaz gets his mandatory done with, that they fight again, because the first fight was good. Number 8 is WBO champ Jemele Herring. He's 35. He didn't look that great in his only fight in September. But he's in line for Carl Frampton. Him and Frampton are going to lock up. That's a good fight. Personally, I'm favoring him to win that fight. It could go either way. I'm going to favor him to beat Frampton, and then he's going to have to deal with the very young Shakur Stevenson. They're friends, but still Stevenson's down to fight him. And I personally think he's going to get worked, but he is definitely going to have the opportunity to prove how good he is against Carl Frampton, and Shakur Stevenson. So we're going to see what he does. Number 7, and now this is coming into the year, number 7, because the top 10 has been affected by a fight that happened on January 2nd. But coming into the year, I'm sorry, geez. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Now, former WBA champion Renee Alvarado, he fought in a war. We talked about that last week. Against Roger Gutierrez. That was a really good fight on the DAZN undercard. And he lost his title to Gutierrez, but again, he lost 7 rounds to 5. He won 7 rounds, but he lost because of the 3 knockdowns that he suffered in that fight. And that 12th round knockdown hurt him and lost him the fight, because it would have been a draw if he didn't get knocked down in that 12th. But I think a third fight should happen between these guys, and I hope it does. I think he deserves it. I hope the Golden Boy gets the fight going for maybe the middle of the year during the summer, and I hope to see him back in action, because he's a veteran and he deserves a rematch. Number 6 is undefeated former featherweight champ Oscar Valdez. Valdez only fought once, got a win in 2020, but his chance to prove himself is here finally. We've been building up Oscar Valdez for years. Not sure how good he really is. We're going to see now. He's fighting the top guy in the division in Miguel Berchelt, the WBC champion. And, he's 29. Valdez is 28-0, 22 knockouts. Personally, I think he's going to get his ass whipped in this fight, Ray. February 20th, the main event on ESPN. I think Berchelt's going to beat him, but, he's got the opportunity to prove himself. So we're going to see. So that should be good. Number 5 is former 2-division champ Carl Frampton. Frampton's 33 now. He's got a showdown with Jemele Herring for the WBO title. He's trying to become a 3-division world champ. Frampton gets to prove how good he really is still right now. If he can beat Herring, which I think is possible, if he can beat him, he has to fight Shakur Stevenson after that. I'm not sure he wants that smoke, but if he does, I mean, again, another guy. I'm throwing him as the underdog for both of those fights, but he's going to have the opportunity to prove himself. So we'll see. Number 4 is Leo Santa Cruz, a former 4-division champ. He drops a couple spots from number 2. He got laid out against Javonte Davis. Not sure the kind of year he's going to have this year after that loss, man. That's a tough loss to bounce back from. Personally, Santa Cruz, though, with that upbeat attitude of his, he said before the end of the year he wanted to fight him again. And I'm like, yeah, no, you don't, but okay. At least he's saying it. That shows that we're probably going to see him back. Santa Cruz has the option, though, of also moving back down to 126, because technically he still has a world title there. So he has that option. He's probably better fit moving back down in weight. But Santa Cruz, was fighting Davis hard, and Davis is a big-time power puncher. He might have better success against some of the other guys at 130. Maybe a showdown with Gary Russell is on the horizon. Who knows? But it all depends on when he comes back. So that's him. Number 3 is Joseph Diaz Jr., the IBF champ. He's 28. He beat Tevin Farmer, finally won a world title. That's the biggest of his career, biggest win of his career. As I said earlier, they were supposed to fight in a rematch. That didn't happen. Now he has his mandatory on the horizon. That was supposed to be in February, but his mandatory challenger had to pull out with the coronavirus. So we're probably going to see Joseph Diaz come back in March or April against his mandatory. I think he beats Rakimov, and then it's kind of sky's the limit right there. He could unify against Roger Gutierrez. He could try Tevin Farmer in a rematch. We'll see. But I like Joseph Diaz a lot. I think he's a very good fighter, and he's very young, and he talks a lot of shit, and he's not afraid to fight anybody. So we'll see. And then now I got a two-way tie for first. First off is the guy that's been there for the last few years, Miguel Berchelt, the WBC champion. He's been champion since he's going on 4 years now. He's been champion, right?
Wow.
He's 29. Yeah, he only fought once. It wasn't a sanctioned fight in Mexico, and it ended up being declared a no contest. But he was waiting around basically for his mandatory defense against Oscar Valdez. And that fight's coming February 20th. I think Berchelt's going to take the division back from Javonte Davis by getting a knockout over Valdez. But these two guys are going to go back and forth as long as Davis is at 130. But Berchelt, very good. He's a combination boxer puncher, and the guy hits really hard. And he's 29. He's still very young. So he's 37-1, 33 knockouts, Ray. That shows you the kind of power this guy has. So, that's him. And then the last guy, tied for first, undefeated Javonte Davis, man. We've talked about him. He's 26, 24-0, 23 knockouts. 130 is probably better suited for him, but he's going to move up to 135 eventually. He won the title knocking out Santa Cruz. And I'm really hoping because I'm going to be realistic, I don't think the big four at lightweight, which is Davis, the youngsters, Lopez, Haney, and Garcia, I don't see any of those guys really locking up. I know Davis and Garcia have agreed to the fight to each other, but that doesn't mean their promotion is going to allow that fight or work out a deal. So we'll see. But I think Davis is better off trying to fight Gary Russell Jr. But we'll see what Davis does. Whatever he does, he's one of the most must-see boxers in boxing right now. And I can't wait to watch him fight again against whoever it is. So, yeah, so that's my top 10, man.
Okay, well, before we get into yours, Bon, I want to ask you guys a question. You had made a comment about a non-sanctioned fight. True. What's the pros and cons of a non-sanctioned fight for the guys that don't know about that?
Well, I mean, it's the fight happens, and then afterwards, kind of like they're almost like the athletic commission comes in and says, well, we didn't sanction this fight, so no matter what the outcome was, which I think he scored a 6-round TKO in that fight, they changed the result of the fight to a 6-round no contest. So,
wow.
It really, I mean, most of the time those kind of fights happen. It's not a big time fight, but so it didn't really affect Berchelt in any way because he didn't even defend the title in that one. He moved up a couple pounds just to shake off some rust in that fight. So,
okay.
It really didn't hurt him, but it can in a big fight. But most of the time, no contest happens before the fourth round when there's a cut caused by anything other than a punch.
Okay.
So, then that'll stop the fight, and then they'll declare it a no contest. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bon, what about your top 10? Did True have any his boxers on your list? And if he did,
yeah, pretty much everybody on there but one.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Tell us about your list.
All right, so number 10, I got Renee Alvarado, former champ. He just lost to Roger Gutierrez. In a fight that, like Drew said, he was close to winning. It would have probably been, it would end up being a draw, or maybe he would have eked a decision, like a close decision. But that knockdown in the 12th round got him that loss. So, I got him at number 10. At number 9, I got Roger Gutierrez. Coming off that win and being winning a part of that title, that was a big win for him. He won, So I got him at number 9. At number 8, I got Shakur Stevenson. Kid is, how I am about the young guys, True. You already know. I gotta have one of them in there. So you gotta have one of the young bucks in there. So Shakur Stevens at number 8. I'd like Drew said, Shakur Stevens is in line for a WBO shot out there. Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring. They do have a good relationship because of Terrence Crawford and things of that nature, but I think they're gonna get it on. So that's a good fight. And then Shakur, being with Top Rank, he is actually in very good position to put himself and to at least, getting 2 different title shots, the WBO and the WBC with Miguel Berchelt being champion, WBC champion. So at number 7, I got the former 4-division world champion, Leo Santa Cruz. Came off that bad loss not a bad loss, that tough loss to Javonte Davis. Leo has been just, he did his thing, man. He came up there, and I still think he's one of the best 130 pounders in the world, and they can compete and probably beat a lot of them, but that's to be seen. But Leo, we'll see what he does when he come back. I know he'll take some time off. So I got Leo Santa Cruz at 7, and then I got number 6, the number 1 mandatory, and we'll be fighting in February, I believe, against Miguel Berchelt, Oscar Valdez. Now Valdez has had, throughout his career, there's been some ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? But Oscar's always came through. He had, he's traded with Eddie Reynoso, so hopefully, Eddie work on some things with him, get some things tight on him, so he'd be ready for that Berchelt fight. And he's in a good camp, so we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be a good fight. So then at number 5, I got former IBF champion Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer, like Drew said, was supposed to get, the title shot, but then they switched up to this, and then the IBF said, hey, you gonna fight this dude. So that fight isn't happening. Tevin Farmer's still gonna probably be in position, but he'll probably have a fight before he fights Jojo Diaz. But we'll see.
Well, hold on, Vaughn. Before you go any further, I think your mic is rubbing up against something, brother, so it's hard to hear you.
Oh. Wow.
It's all good. Did you hear it too, Drew?
Wow.
No, we're hearing what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
It's just kind of coming in and out because of that.
So you're good. We heard you. Just finish off.
I had the mic messed up the whole time. Wow.
No, you're good.
Oh no, you're good.
We can still hear you. I just didn't want your stuff to get drowned out because I know you got a solid list, man. So what? We're at number 5.
Yeah.
Now, Vaughn, just go back and say everything you said the last 45 minutes. No, go ahead.
Okay. So Tevin Farmer.
I'm just playing with you, bro.
Yeah, number 5.
Yes. Yeah, so Tevin Farmer, so he'll be in position for a shot. And then at number 4, I got Jemele Herring, WBO champion. Jemele Herring is about to fight Carl Frampton, his biggest step in his career, biggest test of his career. So we shall see how he does in this fight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a test, and he's fighting in London too. So it's going to be in London. I forgot. I think March it'll be, or April. They'll be fighting in London. So he's going overseas to go fight. And it's going to be a real test. And then number 3, I got the IBF champion, Jojo Diaz, coming off the biggest win of his career against Tevin Farmer. Jojo's about to fight his IBF mandatory. It's going to be a good fight, though. This dude, he can fight. Pretty good boxer. I think Jojo will win, but it's going to be a good fight. So, he's going to fight his mandatory, and then from there, we'll see what happens. Maybe him and, Tevin Farmer get it on, or maybe he can pursue the other champions. It's to be seen, but like he said, it's in the contract, so they'll probably fight. Then then I got to tie like True does, 1A, 1B, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing like True does. So right now, I would say I'm just gonna go how I had it. So I'm gonna go with Miguel Berchelt. So Berchelt is the WBC champion. He's been handling business at 130. He looks like the man at the division. He looks like one of the mans at the division, top guys in the division. He's just, he's got a big fight against Oscar Valdez. I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy that fight. And so I got him in there. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with and then I got Tank Davis, WBA super champion. Tank is just a monster at 130. He just 130 is going to be pretty hard to beat him at 130. Anything's possible, but
right.
So it's between him and Berchelt. Either way you want to go, it's between Tank and Miguel Berchelt. So that's my top 10.
What do you guys have on the timeline? You think these guys will ever meet up to face each other, or not in the near future? Davis and both you guys number 1. Yeah.
Hard, bro, because it's the promotions again. It's working with PBC, man. To be honest, I would probably say no, even though I'd love to
No.
see the fight.
Yeah.
Because unless Berchelt becomes like almost a household name, bro. I don't think they would even consider, as they call it, crossing the street, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Berchelt could have opportunities possibly to take on Vasily Lomachenko. And if he were to beat Lomachenko, then we could talk about that again. But I don't think he
Yeah.
beats Loma. But still, though, I mean, Berchelt's one of those guys where you're like, you don't think he beats some of these bigger name guys, but
You never know.
right,
You know.
you wouldn't be surprised if he did it, because
Right.
he is that good, bro. So yeah.
I see. Okay, well, that was a good top 10 on both of you guys' parts. We're gonna cut it at this point. We got some more awards coming up. True, what other awards we got coming up? So you can give everybody kind of like a heads up on what we got coming in the next few podcasts.
Why don't we talk about the schedule for real quick?
Because, we can do that. Yeah,
it's just one fight card next Saturday, bro. So we should be able to go through that real quick. So yeah.
So Vaughn, you want to break that down? So at PBC Showtime, right?
Yeah, so it's a PBC Showtime card. It'll be on 6 p.m. Our time, West Coast time, and 9 p.m. Eastern time. The only thing is gonna suck for this fight is the Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier 2 fight. So a lot of people probably won't watch it, but I'll be watching it. You know what I'm saying? And so we got Angelo Leo and Steve Fulton, 2 of the top super bantamweights in the world. That's 122 pounds. They fighting for Angelo Leo's WB bantamweight title. They were supposed to fight a few months ago, but Steve Fulton ended up having COVID, so they had to cancel the fight. And then they had a replacement, but Angelo Leo won the fight. So that's the main fight. And then I believe in the co-main event is Reese. Oh my God, this boy got 2 names in his name, right? Reese Alim. Reese Alim is a nice little prospect, junior featherweight, 130 pounder. Pretty good prospect. He's 17-0, 11 knockouts. He's fighting this dude Vic Pasili. Now Vic Pasila, I'm probably butchering this man's name. So Vic Pasila's been around for a while. He back probably like I say 2013, 2012. He was a pretty good prospect, but then he had this promotional award that kept him out of the ring for like 3 years. He had this problem with his his promotional contract issues. And so he came back and he had a pretty good win. He beat just a Panamanian prospect dude, beat him. It was a good win for him. So Vic is, he's a dangerous opponent for Alim. And then opening the broadcast is the return of, you already know, Mr. Rolly Romero. He's back. He's fighting Justin Palado. I don't know much about Justin Palado, so I'm gonna have to watch up on him. I mean, Rolly coming back. This should be, seem like a fight where they're gonna try to, have Rolly look impressive, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know much about this fight with him and Palado. We'll see what happens. Rolly's coming off that, decision win, might we call it, basically, against Jackson Marinez. But most of the boxing world and most of the boxing fans, Jackson Marinez won that fight. But
okay.
Yeah.
Rolly ended up getting the decision. It was a horrible decision, one of the robberies of the year. But so he's going to fight him. And then in the co-main event, I was talking about Alim and Vic Vasily. So that's a good-ass fight right there. That's a really, really, really good fight. Keep your eyes on that fight. It's a nice little fight in junior featherweight. If Rasidi Alim wins, that helps him. He keeps moving up. It's a nice little win. He keeps growing. And, PBC start to fill out their 130-pound roster. If Vic win is an upset. And, it's, hey, man, that could be big for Vic. Another nice win, knocking off another nice little prospect. That could be big. So, check that out. And then in the main event, we got Angelo Leo versus Steve Fulton. So Angelo Leo, he's training out of the Mayweather camp. He's been with Mayweather for years. He's one, and he's a pretty good little fighter, man. Angelo Leo is just, he no frills and thrills, but he gets the job done, and his last fight, he fought a guy kind of similar to Steve Fulton in the sense of like movement and good footwork and trying to use angles against you and stuff and stay to the outside. He did a good job against him. He was able to break him down. He didn't stop him, but he was able to slow him down and able to, get in range and land his punches. Has good value, has some good boxing skills, and is used to probably fighting guys that move and counter punch a lot, training in the Mayweather gym. He's probably dealt with that for, a lot in his career. But then, he faces Steve Fulton. Now, Steve Fulton to me, I'm I'm pretty high on him. I like him. Pretty good fighter, man. Think the kid's got really good skills. Think he could be, a champion at 122 pounds, multiple belt champion. He's, coming up, and this is a big fight for him. This is fight right here for both of them. Either or, whoever wins becomes a WBO champion. I mean, well, Leo stays the champion, and if Fulton wins or Leo wins, they set themselves up for a WBC 122 title fight with Luis Nery, because Luis Nery's with the PBC, and he said he wants to fight one of those winners. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to fight Ray Vargas, but Ray Vargas went up to 126, and now he's the mandatory. WBC just said he's the mandatory for Gary Russell's belt. That's another thing we could talk about later on. But so that's, so this fight has a lot of implications. This is something that I was going to put on. I'm going to make a video on don't sleep on fights. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. I think this is going to be a really good fight. And I think both fighters, man, this is a big opportunity to them, because this could lead them to a unification bout and put their name out there more. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
True. What do you think about the upcoming fights?
Just real quick through it. We'll start with Romero. Yeah, after that bad decision with Marinez, he's got something to prove. And this is the kind of fight where if you're a good fighter, no matter what anybody says about the last fight, you got to come out and show how good you really are against whoever it is, And he's got opportunity. If I'm him, he has the opportunity. You go for an impressive knockout in this one. That way you shut some of your critics up about the Marinez fight. I mean, so and he's on Showtime, and that's a big platform right there. So,
under Mayweather gym too.
Yeah. So he's got it's a good opportunity here. The Pasillas and what was it, Aleem fight? It's actually at 122. That's super bantamweights. And this is a fight where, I mean, 122 is kind of wide open, right? It really is. And it's for an interim belt. 122 is one of those divisions that's always up for the taking, and we'll get into that when we discuss the top 10. But yeah, man, PBC's taken over that division over the course of the last year, and anybody, this could be kind of like one of those guys that is gonna sit just out of the top 10, the winner of this fight. So if Aleem's on the level, he becomes an interim champion, which is most of the time a direct shot towards the world title. So, he's got something to prove in the co-feature. And again, it's on Showtime. So, it's a good opportunity for him. But the main event, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. This fight was supposed to happen in August. Fulton, just days before the fight, tested positive for COVID. And he was a favorite coming in against Leo. And Leo went in against a guy who kind of has a similar style, a boxing southpaw style, in Tremaine Williams. And Leo, man, he kicked the shit out of Williams over 12 rounds, man. I mean, he really just outworked him, outboxed him, and he wasn't supposed to be the better of the two kind of boxers overall. So I think Leo, having that little bit of experience now, and he's been able to prepare for Stephen Fulton. Now we're talking a total of 6-7 months now. He's been preparing for the same Stephen Fulton. So now that he has the world title and he's, got that world title experience under his belt where Fulton doesn't, I'm going to pick Leo to win this fight, man. I think it's going to be a good one. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good boxing match, and for the guys that don't want to wait, I'm not saying it's a waste of money on the Conor McGregor MMA fight, but if you don't watch this fight, because it's going to be a good little scrap right here, man, between two guys that are trying to bust themselves into the 122 division. And as I said, it's a wide open division. There's unification bouts that are, that are up there. You got Brandon Figueroa, Luis Nery.
That is true. Tomoki Kameda. Brandon Figueroa. PBC has taken it over. Yeah, Daniel Roman. They're all in there. Yeah, my bad.
And the fact that they got the platform of Fox and Showtime, and a lot of these little dudes don't mind fighting on undercards and shit either, right? So I mean, these guys could really, make 122 a very good division this year. It could really come up, So we'll see, man. But I'm looking forward to this. This is a good fight, man. It's a good way for PBC to start off their year, man. So,
okay. Nice. Well, real quick question. PBC, how long have they been around for? Or PBC?
5 years.
5 years? Okay. And
5 to 6 years.
Yeah, because I just started hearing their name. So, yeah, I might have to go down the history of that one these days, you guys, because I barely started hearing their names recently. So, okay, that's good.
They got more than anybody
in
terms of in terms of top tier talent. Like in all my top 10s, they pretty much double what ESPN Top Rank and DAZN does combined.
Wow.
So they have the majority of the top tier fighters in all of boxing, you know? So, I mean, yeah, PBC is good, man.
And where did they come
they
from?
Got a great platform.
Their Showtime?
Go ahead, True. You got that.
Yeah, they came pretty much, it was created by Al Heyman.
And Floyd Mayweather.
And Mayweather, and it was kind of when they were coming out of Golden Boy. You know, they're a lot of the guys like
they snatched them from Boxer.
They be veterans now. Were Golden Boy guys, and Al Heyman, who's a very smart kind of advisor and manager, kind of pulled a lot of those guys, and he's only built it since, man. And,
wow.
and the PBC has a couple divisions just straight up on lockdown, right? Like they have welterweight, they got super welterweight, and they have 122s. Like 122s turning into that now, you know. So so that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're locking divisions down, which means these guys can fight each other, which is a good thing. So you know, we
definitely gonna have to touch on that topic about promotion of who's a monopoly, if there is any in boxing right now, or who's the guys.
It's plenty.
Yeah. So
every boxing.
More than one, bro.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to talk about these one of these days, man. But that sound good. True. What's in it, man?
My bad. It was a steak, bro.
I just messed with you
all day, man. My bad.
No, it's understood, man. It's understood. No, but it was a good podcast, man. It was good. The top 10s, the 122s. We're gonna be hitting the 130s next, guys. Next podcast.
No, we did 130.
I'm sorry, 130s. Yes, we're doing 122s. Bantamweight. Okay. So it's looking good, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We get some outros in. True, go ahead and give me your outro.
Well, hey, real quick. The next episode we'll do. I think we're doing fight of the year.
Okay.
And the overall win of the year in boxing. So these awards are getting bigger and bigger as we go along.
Nice.
Yeah, but True Boxing, TRU Boxing on YouTube. Yeah, hit that like button, man. You know, subscribe to us. And then True_Boxing on Instagram. So
nice. Von.
Von Blues Boxing. VONBLEU Boxing on YouTube. Get at me.
All right, fellas. Well, we will see you, the audience. We will see you guys soon. So thanks for coming by.
All right. Peace, fellas.
I got you.